Pennsylvania Highway 56. Yeah, alright. Pennsylvania Highway 56 is a road that goes east-west. There's not too much to say about it, but there are some cool places along the way. Let's take a look at the map. As you can see, PA 56 starts in Pittsburgh's northern suburbs in New Kensington, and it goes past Indiana, Johnstown, and to nearby Bedford, where it meets with US 30 and ends. You're watching the Xavier 456, where new highway content comes out every week. If you like what you're seeing, hit the like button, it's waiting for you. And if you really like it, even the subscribe button is waiting for you to smash it, and so is the notification bell. Alright, here's my weekly reminder that you can request your exit or intersection down in the comments below. Next week, we'll be looking at PA 65. Alright, first we're going to be talking about Eastbound, PA 56. So we start here at PA 366 near New Kensington, and as you can see, 366 is signed for Tarentum, which is just across the Allegheny River from New Kensington, and meanwhile 56 is signed for Leechburg. I think that could be okay. Here we meet with PA 356, we're getting both Leechburg and Vandergrift, so we're getting the next town over. I think those are fine. Then when we split off of PA 356, southbound signed for North Washington? No idea what that is. And PA 56 is now signed east for Vandergrift. Here we get a direction shield for PA 56, but we also get a shield for PA alternate 66. That's because we're gonna meet with the normal PA 66 a little later on. Here's where we meet with normal PA 66 in North Vandergrift after we've crossed the Kiskimenetas River, and we don't get any signage here. But then, once we split off of PA 66, now signed for Greensburg, and that is a wonderful choice, we are signed for Shalakta. Why Shalakta? That's just where we join up with US 422. You know where 422 is going? Indiana. So put Indiana on the sign. Why Shalakta? Here at this interchange, we're still getting Shalakta on the sign. Ugh, Indiana, please. And no, I don't mean the state, of course, I mean the city in Pennsylvania. Because once again, if you're going east, you wouldn't be going to the state. Here's where you meet up with US 422, and it's getting Kittanning and Indiana. As long as you put a PA at the end of Indiana, you'll be all good. So for US 422 from there, go check out my 422 video, and then PA 56 joins up with US 119, so then go check out my 119 video for those references. Here is where we split off of US 119, and there's actually a direction for old Route 56 to the left, and we're getting signed for Johnstown on the bottom line along with Armagh. I mean, that's a secondary, but Johnstown is at least the bottom line, so that's all I care for. Here we got a 3-line mileage sign with Brush Valley at 6, Armagh at 12, and Johnstown at 22. Perfectly done. And then once we're past Brush Valley, we only get 2 lines on the mileage sign with Armagh and Johnstown, as you would expect. Here we meet with US 22, which is getting Ebensburg, when I don't know, I feel like it should be Altoona. And Blairsville. No, that should be Pittsburgh. Here we get another mileage sign after Armagh, and we're getting Seward at 3 and Johnstown at 10. Still sensible enough. Here is a look at the Johnstown Inclined Plane, which is a very historic and famous incline, and it's used to transport cars up this mountain. Here is the best view I could get of downtown Johnstown. It's a nice town. Then at this point, PA 56 becomes a freeway, namely the Johnstown Expressway, and the first exit we get is for Guystown and Dale. Then after the expressway ends, we meet with US 219, which gets signed north for Ebensburg, correct, and south for Somerset. Yeah, and we are signed east for Windber. I'm not sure. Windber is kinda big, and we do have an exit for it, so I could agree with it. Here's where we split off of US 219, and we're signed for Windber and Scalp Avenue. I don't know why Scalp Avenue is on there, but Windber could be okay. But when we get a mileage sign, it's actually better. Windber is on our top line at 3, and Bedford is on our bottom line at 32. And I think signing Bedford on this PA State Highway in particular is okay. Here is our exit to Windber. It's PA 601, but what do we get? Scalp level and paint? What? Okay, so we're already in paint. I'm thinking of painting the sign just to change it. Haha. Here is where we meet with PA 96, which is getting signed for Schellsburg, and I think that could be okay. And Wayant. You know what Wayant is? An unincorporated community! There should be something else there, and I don't know what. But at this very same intersection, PA 56 is signed for Bedford heading eastbound, and that is the correct choice. Here's another mileage sign, and oh no! Looks like you've become I-99. You're using the exact same mileage sign that's on I-99 right before Bedford, except with different mileage distances. But we get this unincorporated Cessna. But bottom line is Bedford, and this mileage sign is not as egregious as the one on I-99, so I think it's good. Well, here is what Cessna looks like. As you can see, it's a sprawling metropolis. Here is where we meet with I-99 and US 220, which is signed for Altoona and Bedford. No! Why are you still signing Bedford on this? You should be signing Cumberland. Here's where you can turn left onto northbound 99 for Altoona, and we also get a sign for Bedford County Airport, since we really have nowhere else to go. But what's odd is this Pennsylvania Turnpike sign. PA Turnpike 76? I've never heard of that! What is this? So I'm assuming this is supposed to be I-76, but we don't have a connection to I-76 at all. If you were to get to I-76, you could have gone on I-99 and done that Breezewood 2 thing. What the heck? At this point, we're getting signed for Schellsburg, and that is horrible. We already had an intersection for Schellsburg with PA 96 earlier on. And why are they signing it here? Because of US 30. What should be signed there is Greensburg for US 30 if you want to sign something for 30 westbound so badly. Here's where we meet with US 30, and the end of PA 56 is right here. It's getting Bedford only 4 miles. And Schellsburg only 5 miles. No, that should say Greensburg. Alright, now let's go and talk about westbound PA 56. Right at the start at US 30, PA 56 gets signed west for Altoona. Wow, that is awesome. And they're only doing this because of northbound I-99. That's correct. But then, once we get a mileage sign, it's even better. Now they're favoring both I-99 and PA 56 at the same time. We're getting Altoona at 33 miles away for I-99, and Johnstown at 35 miles away for PA 56. I'd say this is a case of a rare Pennsylvania W. Well done. Here is where we meet with I-99, and it's getting Altoona northbound, and we are still getting our signage for Johnstown. Well done. But of course, once we get to the southbound ramp, Bedford comes back on there. Cumberland. When we look on I-99, we're getting signed for both Cessna and Johnstown. The only thing that should be on there is Johnstown. Cessna's unincorporated, so just remove Cessna, and then the sign will be okay. Here we got a mileage sign with Fishertown on the top line at 4 miles, and Johnstown on the bottom line at 34. Well done there. Here's where we meet with PA 96, which gets signed for Schellsburg, and that's what I think Schellsburg should be on. And Wayant, which is that freaking unincorporated community. Don't want to see that there. Once we get another mileage sign, Windber is on our top line. That's kind of sizable. It's like a suburb of Johnstown. And Johnstown itself is on the bottom line at 23. Still sensible. When we meet with US 219, both routes get signed as Johnstown Expressway. Now you seem to be giving US 219 the Kentucky treatment. You should be putting Johnstown, but replace Expressway with Evansburg. Johnstown and Evansburg. Sign Evansburg for US 219 North, and just put Johnstown for PA 56 westbound. And here's where we split off of US 219, and we're signed just as Johnstown Expressway. I think you could just have Johnstown on there and that would be okay. One exit we get for PA 56 is to PA 271 and 403 for Bedford Street, and this is the last exit on the expressway portion. Here is a more distant look of the Johnstown inclined plane, and as you can see in this image, it has been closed for renovations for a long time, and it's supposed to open back up this year. Here we meet with PA 711, and it's getting New Florence, and when we join up with it, we're getting Armagh. Why is only Armagh there? I'd rather see something else. And here is where PA 711 splits off, and it's getting Charles and Kramer. Here we meet with US 22 getting Ebensburg and Blairsville. I think that should be Altoona and Pittsburgh. When we exit off of US 22, we're getting Armagh and Johnstown, but we're also getting for Westbound, Brush Valley and Homer City. And then once we get another direction sign, it's getting Armagh and Johnstown. We're only getting Westbound for Homer City. Well, I guess Homer City is technically sizable when Indiana Paw exists. Indiana dwarfs Homer City when it comes to population. Sign Indiana Paw there. And here is where we meet with US 119 in Homer City, and it's getting Blairsville, maybe Pittsburgh would be fine there, and we are getting Indiana. Indiana is what should have been on those previous direction signs. And here we skip all the way to Shalocta, and we get a direction sign for both Avonmore and Apollo. Avonmore is there for another route. But then Avonmore goes away on this mileage sign as we get Shady Plain and Apollo. And what's weird about this mileage sign is that both of the towns have straight up arrows. That beats the Lock Haven sign that we saw on US 220. What the heck is this? Here is the road that goes to Avonmore, only 6 miles away, and here's where we meet up with PA 66, once again, no sign of cheer, and then here's where we split off as West PA 56. Here we get a direction sign for PA 356, and we're signed for Freeport, that's for 356, and we're signed for New Kensington, and I think that is a good choice. Here's where PA 356 splits off of us, and we get 56 West New Kensington and 356 West for Freeport. And here is the end of PA 56, and we're getting New Kensington straight, and we're also getting Tarentum for 366. And that'll be it for PA 56. Thanks for watching, and we're going to go back down to Pittsburgh for our next route. Alright, I'll see you all in PA 65. May peace be with you.